grab, and he's going to be sacked.
Woo! Broncos country, let's ride. We got the core four back, man. Jeremy back in here, feeling much better. You ended up having COVID or something. What'd you have?
I don't know. I don't act like that's a real thing. I just it's whatever. It's a virus. I had something. I just lost my voice. I didn't feel bad. I just didn't sound good.
Sound
He was
a lot
screaming
like
so
Aaron
loud
Rodgers.
when that Zach Allen contract came in.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
If it would have went into my bank account, I wouldn't be back.
Yeah, believe that.
Well, Jeremy, it's great to have you back. We got a great show lined up for everybody, so be sure smash the like, subscribe, jump in the conversations on all of our channels. Links are in the description. And yes, this is going to be great. Go check out Bo Nix's new video as well. Do that after this though, because that would be rude to jump right now and do it. But I think we should just dive in, guys. We got a big time hour for you guys. We got some stock up, stock down on different players. We'll take a look at trying to figure out this 53-man roster, talking over some extensions if we haven't gotten into it by then, and then getting into your favorite part, predictions about the 49ers. Who's going to ball out? We're going to get to it. So let's just jump right in. Maybe we can work ourselves around the horn. We'll start with Mark, and we can work our way down. Maybe we start – you want to start with a stock up or a stock down, and we can go through a few rounds of this.
You want me to do one of each, or we start with stock up?
Yeah, let's start with stock up.
Let's do it. All right, so I'm gonna let you guys have some of the ones that I know you want to talk about the most. My biggest stock up player so far in camp has got to be Lavelle Bailey, man. Everything you've heard about the boy Lavelle, he's done great. He's had wonderful opportunities to go out there and make plays, and by all accounts, he's making it, man. And the big thing that stands out to me with him is that everyone's saying he looks like a real linebacker now. Like he put a lot of size on. He's still got the speed. He looks good in coverage. Really excited for that kid, man. So, yeah, he was a borderline make the team player. I think you can write that in Sharpie. He's definitely making this team, and he could potentially be the week 1 starter. So that's my guy.
Yes.
Kodiak, what you got?
All right. Well, this one's going to be – I think this was kind of a fastball right down the middle, being able to go second after Lavelle Bailey was already said. But, man, I don't think there's been a bigger stock up in training camp thus far, besides the guy who I predicted back in February to go for 1,100 yards this upcoming year, and that is Troy Franklin. Last year, like I said, I've always said, ever since the season ended, that it's okay to be disappointed by what Troy Franklin did not do last year, but – he was still a 4th-round rookie. He still fell to the 4th round for a reason. But everything you hear, all right, last Tuesday when we hopped on, what did we heard? Or last Monday, we had heard that he had that really nice play over Damari Mathis. And I was just like, well, whatever. It's just Damari Mathis. But no. Regardless of who the DB is, he looks 1,000 times better from everyone that we've seen cover training camp. Everybody says that he looks better. He looks quicker, better off the line, more physical, which is something that he really, really needed to hold and hoard it into his game. So, yeah, Troy Franklin, mega stock up over here from the Kodiak.
Love it. Yep.
There's no doubt about that one. Lavelle Bailey as well. That was the first person I listed on defense. I have a lot. I'm just going to start with, an overall. We're so, I think we're starting to get a little, take it for granted a little bit. But, Bo Nix has been, by all accounts, so much today even Sean Payton came out and he said he's light years ahead of where he thought he would be. I mean, you can't get any more excited about the future of your football team when you draft somebody and then not only do they just completely ball out last year, and then now they're looking that much better. Now he has to go up against one of the craziest defenses, hopefully the best defense in the league, every single day. So that's one of those things I'm looking forward to with his prediction for the 49ers. I hope he is licking his chops looking at a defense that doesn't know him, doesn't see the same routes, doesn't have the script, and he can just go ball out. But by all accounts, I am loving everything you're seeing from the leader of the football team.
Yeah. When he's coming out, when Sean Payton's coming out and saying this guy's going to be a top 5 quarterback here, like 2 years. Yeah. That means Sean Payton's loving what he's seeing.
Yeah, that's wild talk. Like, that's putting expectations out there that he is fully comfortable saying. Like, if most times you'll be like, quietly, we're very excited about this guy. We think he can do great things. But just putting your, like, as Alex would say, putting your nuts out there and saying he's going to be a top 5 quarterback, like, take it to the bank. That's as high praise you can pretty much get.
Yep.
I love Sean Payton, baby. I love it, man. When he's feeling something, man, he's gonna talk his smack. He's gonna put himself out there, and I love it. And I guess for my stock up, maybe we should go a few rounds with this because now I'm getting some other names that I want to talk about. But I got to take my guy. I wrote him off as soon as last week, but he must watch this show. I'm gonna take it, Mark, that Audric Estime heard us, just feeling embarrassed, saying we're stupid for having this guy in the lineup, right? And ever since the pads came on, he's been crushing it. He's been money in the red zone in short yardage situations, and I haven't heard any bad attitude talk anymore, man. I think Audric is right there in that role that we want him in, as kind of that third back, the battering ram. We'll see if we end up keeping 4 backs, but I'm feeling better right now about Audric, man. I'm sorry I doubted you last week.
I'm happy that you are, man. I am too. We were ready to kind of eat crow on that, but so far he's looked better. So these games are going to be huge for him. Big time for him.
Yeah. Yes. Well, Mark, I'll give it back over to you, man. I guess we can kind of open this up, whether it's a stock down or some stock up. We can just kind of
I would say a couple maybe honorable mentions in terms of the stock up guys. One dude is Trent Sherfield. You are constantly hearing about the dude making plays.
Yep.
Seems like an awesome person to be around. We knew he was going to make the team because of special teams, but he is chiseled, man. He like 6'1", like he's built kind of like a running back. They say he's making plays all over the field. So he's going to be fun to watch. Hopefully he changes his number so that RJ can take it or something. But anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. And then Ioma Uwazurike, man, happy for Ioma. I feel like every single day you're hearing really good things from him, his versatility. Yes. Still a really young player. I think he's, I really do believe he's going to ultimately make this team. I like what he provides. So those are kind of some honorable mentions. And then a stock down guy. There's a couple that we know about, right? Like the Lucas Kroll and all that. But I think this one kind of breaks my heart. And I hope I'm completely wrong about it. But I think PJ Locke doesn't really have the best chance to make the roster anymore, guys. Yeah, what? I do. And I'll preface by saying it again. He is. I think he would be so valuable to have. Like I would definitely want to keep him on this roster. Mm-hmm. But they said he hasn't looked all the greatest in camp because obviously the back surgery, they can save a lot of money. But Sean Payton said, if you're not a starting safety, you've got to be able to make a big impact on special teams. I don't think he plays a lot of teams. We know that he can save some money. Maybe there's a team interested in trading for him. I hate the idea because, one injury away in our safety room could be a little bit concerning without him there. But that's my stock down players. Unfortunately, PJ Locke.
Yeah.
I think my stock down player is going to stun a lot of people too. And it's you hear basically nothing but good news about players in the offseason. But there's just sometimes where you don't hear any news about a player and you're just like, all right, so what's going on really? We did see a little bit of news about this player today, but it's going to be disheartening for me to say that a small stock down player for me was our first round pick, Jahdae Barron. And here's why. Here's why I'm going to say Jahdae Barron has a slight stock down. I'm not concerned about him. I'm not concerned about, his impact year one. I still expect him to be a major contributor on this defense. Week one, we ultimately do take the field against Tennessee. I do expect Jaquan McMillan and him to be on the field at the same time. But from all accounts, Jaquan McMillan still looks really good. And I've just heard nothing about this dude. I mean, he had a nice breakup in one-on-one today, and he also had a nice blitz off the edge from Bo Nix. But, this is the time where we get really, really excited, in particular about the guys that we haven't seen before. And I'm just like, where has the Jahdae Barron news been? Where has the hype train been? Pat Bryant, we hear every day about how great he looks. RJ Harvey, we hear about his role. Why are we not hearing about Jahdae Barron? That's just my question. Like, I'm not concerned at all. But like I said, it's no news is typically not good news, especially for the guys that we were really excited about.
Yeah, I heard he had a good day today. I heard that they're kind of less worried about it, but I think it's just hard for rookies. Like you're thrown into the fire, and just to be like, hey, go out and immediately. I know you're a first round pick, but like you're a first round pick on an absolute stacked defense with dogs out there, and for you to go in and be like, hey, I'm going to tell these guys what's up. It's just probably not realistic,
Yeah.
So I would be worse. It'd be worse if you were like not hearing that the defense was so dominant, and then that he was like, oh, but they're picking on Jahdae, or they're picking, or he let up something. You didn't even hear that though. You just hear nothing. So to me, it's like, that's fine as long as I mean, you're not hearing, oh, he had like 2 interceptions or 2 PBUs or something. But stock down is Mark's computer.
I was wondering. Sorry, I was like, I swear to God, something looks weird. Just realized my camera was inverted. My bad. Continue.
And so yeah, I hear what you're saying, because there's nothing more that you want to hear is your first round pick is just balling out. But I don't think he's not balling. I think he's just like acclimating right now. So hopefully it's just the process, and I'm not worried about him. Okay, the one quiet more stock up on the offense I still have was Alex Palczewski is just, I'm hearing he is like starter quality, almost like if something happens, to know that you haven't drafted a tackle in 8 years, and you have good depth at tackle, and you have your starting guys, like that's something, right? So Alex Palczewski, like, dude, there's nothing worse than going into a season where, especially when you have high expectations, and then like one guy that you were counting on goes down, and now you're like, oh, we're screwed now because there's a huge hole. And man, I just am like love hearing that he's playing that well. So that is a huge one. Yes. One that on the defense, couple stock ups I have, Jonah Ellis, since they put pads on, I've heard is just like balling out there. So I mean, it's hard to like kind of tell what people are doing. I mean, running backs are going to look good without pads. Defensive players are going to look maybe fast or whatever, but you don't know. And then when you put pads on, it's like, oh, okay, now we know. And Jonah Ellis, who already had a great rookie season as a really, really young rookie, to hear this is just like, oh man, that's super exciting. And then the other one, Riley Moss, is just every single day I hear how good he had a good day, like every single day. I think it's, I hate to say like it's the white corner thing and maybe and PS2 is obviously like the
move him to safety.
Yeah, move him to safety. We don't know. It's like he's so legit good that people are. I hope he gets his due this year, because we saw what happened with Adam last year, and every single day in training camp report, I hear how good of a day he had. So like you gotta love that. Stock down real quick. It's just the injuries. Like there's not really anybody I've heard that was like, oh, this guy's really struggling. That's like a starter or anything. But man, it's just tough to get the Dre Greenlaw's pulled up with the quad, and you're like, ugh, what does that mean? And obviously Drew Sanders, everybody was talking about that. It's just stock down. It's just like some of those early injuries is just tough, especially at the linebacker position. So
yeah, I'll get to a few of these before I get to my stock down. Hydra Ammo coming in here saying some other publications have been talking about
Interesting.
Vele stuck down? Why, man? I don't even understand that, Mark. Seems like you had something you wanted to say.
No, interesting. I mean, I believe him. I haven't heard that on. I don't really listen to DNVR all that much, so I don't know if they. But 104.3, I listen to quite a bit. I don't feel like they've said anything. I think Vele's just been overshadowed a little bit because the other guys are stepping up, and he was injured, but he dominated early offseason. I think he's gonna be fine.
So what I heard from 104 from Mace and Cecil is that Vele was looking like he was taking the number 2 wide receiver and running away with it in OTAs, but now he has like a little bit of a sleeve on his knee, and like they're just like, what happened? Did something happen? And he's just kind of slowed his roll a little bit. And but again, today I heard that he had a good day. So, if there's something he got nicked up, maybe he got slowed down a little bit. Also, we're hearing so much about Franklin, and even Pat Bryant's a stock up too. Pat Bryant on PS2, he's making plays. Like, I mean, people were like, he's overdrafted in the 3rd round. Oh yeah, well that 3rd rounder just like is taking it to Patrick Surtain, who nobody does. I mean, you gotta love that. So, I just think that all of we were 5-6 deep in the one right or the wide receiver, even more than that, because even some of the UDFAs are balling out on the receiver. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna be fine. I just heard that he got slowed down by a little bit of an injury.
Interesting. Yeah, I want to say hi to Jay Weaver too. He's on the Devon Vele hype train, and I think, hey, if I'm gonna get to my stock down, this might not be the biggest stock down, but it's one that's very near and dear to my heart. Well, I guess I'll just go with 2. Of course, A.T. Perry not being on the field. It's not good for the agenda of him, being a starting wide receiver.
Just wait until the preseason starts, bro.
I know. I'm praying to God he's going to get on the field. But the other one, this was credit to Cody Rourke and Sarah Bettinger talking about this on Locked On Broncos, but they said they haven't noticed Clay Webb. Like, they just haven't noticed him. And for how much of a bully he was there at Jacksonville State and the hype about him, how much we love Clay Webb in Broncos country, you want to see him, making his physical presence, noted. And he's also not practicing at center either, which I found interesting. I guess they got some other guy at 3rd string center that's been like hiking it over Ellinger's head.
I heard that.
To get his name. Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy. But man, it's a tough day for me on some of these roster bubble guys with my A.T. Perry agenda, my Clay Webb agenda. He was like the one UDFA. I'm like, man, this guy's gonna make a roster. Again, super early. We'll have to see what happens when the pads come on against the Niners, which we'll get to. But I am a little disappointed, man. I can't make some videos saying I told you so. Can't do it. Yeah, man. Not the Jizzler.
Not the Jizzler.
It's Joe. The center they're talking about is Joe Michalski.
Yeah, he's hiking over guys' heads, man.
Yeah.
That's surprising, actually.
That. Yeah.
He was like the guy. He almost started like 60 games in college.
Who is this
like
guy?
What people thought he was going to be the Palchevsky of this year's UDFA. He's like super. He's got a super experienced player. I don't know if he played a lot of center per se, but that's pretty wild.
Yeah, he's a rookie from Oklahoma State.
Yeah, but to make an NFL training camp and be doing that after 60 college starts, even if you didn't play center a lot, that's just diabolical.
Wait, we brought in center from Oklahoma. They had the worst offensive line in all the Big 12 last year.
Keeping it going.
Well, who knows?
All right. I mean, all right. And then real quick, I guess, before we get to the 53, shout out to the franchise, Jeremy Crawshaw, T-Fishes. He's been booting bombs. Guys, is it crazy? We're going to see a punter this year that's going to have a handful of these punts over 5 seconds of hang time, man. When was the last time we had that?
Tom Ruin, maybe.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I'll say I'm really excited. These 3 games of like rooting for the punter to come out and punt is going to be fun because obviously you don't care about what ultimately the score is. So I'm pumped to see the specialists, man. And I think I think the mustache Aussie man himself, Crawshaw, I think he's gonna be a stud.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Well,
Real quick, hold on, wait. Real quick before we move on to stock up, I was just gonna say, like, we were talking about Frank Crum about how a couple weeks ago about how like we were gonna know within the first part of training camp whether he's gonna be one of those guys or he's gonna need another year. Seems like he's gonna need another year. I haven't heard too much about him. Hasn't been horrible, but just I haven't heard the rave reviews either. So it's fine. I mean, he's a beast, dude. 6'7" is just it's gonna take some time, but just wanted an update on that. And then like you got just to throw my 2 cents in on Estime. Ever since Estime ran over the guy, I forget the linebacker, Jordan. Help me out, Jordan. What is his name?
He was the UDFA guy too. We talked about him a little bit.
Ever since he ran him over,
Jordan Miller. No,
yeah,
not Miller.
Jordan Turner. Ever since that happened, it seems like he's been a different guy. It's almost like you just needed to like get that confidence of like, oh yeah, I am huge. Oh yeah, I am strong. Like, why am I tiptoeing around? Why am I like having to like try to just run through somebody, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay. And ever since that happened, it feels like Estime has just been like, okay, they're not gonna give me this job. I need to take this job, and that's the attitude he needs to have. So I'm happy to see that he's been doing that.
No doubt about it. And I think that this is a good time to transition into, adjusting our 53-man roster, this week. I want to give a quick shout out. Biggie Broncos in the chat. Kodiak, you got a thought right now?
No, just saying what's up to everyone in the chat. But actually, I do want to highlight this comment from Dennis Reisman real quick before we talk about Biggie Bronco. Stock down. 20 teams in the NFL due to ownership. Guys, can you believe that Jerry Jones is playing hardball with Micah Parsons of all guys? Like,
yeah, I totally believe it.
Yeah, what's it called?
He's the worst owner, bro.
Yeah,
I said it. People jump in my comments. He's awful.
When Zeke was up for his extension in either 2018, 2019, Jerry Jones had no problem guaranteeing so much of that money to the point where the contract itself lasted until 2027. But now when you have a guy like Micah Parsons, requesting a trade, demanding a trade, I don't know, he's probably one of the best Cowboys that, I don't know, in how long, just pound for pound, one of the best guys they've had in their organization. And God knows when. I mean, CD's great, but Micah, I think, is one of the game's very best. And man, Sean Payton, he talks about that in his presser today. 20 teams in the NFL, they're weak at the top. Wasn't that long ago where we were in hell in large part because we had no accountability, no owner. Joe Ellis was running us into the ground. And guess what happens? Walmart saves the day. The great value pays off.
Yeah, I went to Target yesterday and bought something. I felt like I was cheating.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, you can't do that.
I was like, I gotta go to church.
My daughter needed school supplies. And my wife was like, you want to go to Target? So I right across the street, or you want to go to Walmart? I was like, I can't believe I'm going to say this because I've always been against going to Walmart, but we're going to go to Walmart.
Yeah, we're going to Walmart, baby. Yep. We got to pay that Zach Allen contract off. We got to help him out a little bit.
Yeah, right. I think they're fine, but yeah, let's give them some love.
Real quick, want to say hello to Static. Be sure to follow Static on TikTok, man. He's killing it. And thanks for supporting the show. Ronnie Garcia, he's loving what Kodiak's got on. Kodiak is single, by the way, for all the ladies out there, right? So come on now.
I thought you were going to say for Rodney. I was like, wait.
No. I know. But, throwing a curveball there. Anyways, let's get to this, man. I guess we were looking at option. Were we looking at option 2? Dude, to be honest, I can't even remember. Mark and friends, how are we changing this 53-man roster? How are we, what are we doing now after a full week or so of camp, man?
Yeah, I'm pumped about this one. And honestly, man, I want to say, like, screw you and Andy, by the way, both you guys, because now y'all got me on Google Sheets, making Google Sheets stuff. Like, it's a lot better than Excel, I will say that. But I hate spreadsheets. But y'all got me spreadsheet and everything. So I guess it'll end up being a good thing. It's helped me at work. But anyway, so I got my Google Sheets up as well. So that's why I wanted to say that. Here's what I got. Here's some changes that I made.
Okay.
I have the Broncos with 7 wide receivers on this team. I got those 6, and I have Joaquin Davis.
Oh, I mean, I'm cool
I
with
do.
that. I was hoping it would be A.T.
I
Perry,
do.
but
Now, obviously, he's
But
gonna
I'm-
have to like continue making plays, but dude, people are like saying he's unbelievable. The talent is out of this world. So Joaquin Davis is gonna be there. Yeah, I know we've talked about A.T. Perry. I just think A.T. Perry. I think he's fine being on the practice squad if we need him, because there's a lot of that on here. Another change that I've made is I did unfortunately leave Crum off of the 53. Because I think this is the year where you can get him back on practice squad. I got Matt Pert there as the other tackle. I just think they're going to go with like what they know. Your boy. You had Gargulo and you have Webb too. Yeah, Gargulo. I got. Let me see, because I put guard and center together, so you have 5 total. Yeah, I don't have. I got Bowles, McGlinchey, Palczewski, Pert, Miners, Powers, Wattenberg, and Clay Webb. But Webb is on the bubble. I just don't know.
So no Trust, no Gargiulo.
No, I think Gargiulo, you can get him on practice squad. Truss, I don't know. He's interesting.
What about Forsyth?
I took Forsyth off.
Okay.
I
Dude,
am.
risky.
I
So
know.
you got 8 offensive linemen on the roster.
I do. And it's probably going to end up being 9, to be honest. And it's so tough because it's like, it can go so many different ways. I just think they're going to try to manage who they feel like they can get on practice squad versus who they can't. Like Webb, they probably won't be able to. Maybe even Trust they won't be able to if he plays well in the games. But like Forsyth, they probably can. Gargiulo, they probably can. So that's what makes it tough. So that's kind of I got 25 on offense. How much do you have? 28?
Yeah, I got to
All right,
make
well,
some
now.
cuts here. Has Palczewski gotten any snaps at left tackle?
Not left, but he was. I did ask Zach Seegers, is he running with the ones when McGlinchey was out? And he couldn't answer, but he DM'd me and said yes.
Okay.
He didn't say it, but Kodiak said it. He's good. He's not
Yeah,
credentialed.
exactly.
If they would credential him, he'd keep shit a secret.
That man's so funny. Okay.
No, yeah. So that's the thing. That's why I feel like Pert, man, like he could play left tackle. It's really hard to get the depth on this. That's what I have.
I think right now we're probably going to get rid of Truss, unless you guys think like, all right, we got to cut down to like 26. You guys keeping Clay Webb right now? You adding Forsyth, Kodiak, Jeremy. Your thoughts on what we're doing to get down to like 25 guys?
Listen, all things equal, I'm going with Clay Spray. Like, I don't want to see Forsyth again until proven otherwise after what happened in KC. But like I said, this is tricky because the only one who is guaranteed, in my opinion, to make this roster that's a backup alignment is Palczewski. So that's where you're just ironing out the kinks. But yeah, so yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Andy said, what he say? Fuck me for? because you sent the screenshot of your 53 and it was on sheets, and I basically just copy pasted it like in terms of for the outline and filled in my guys. So you actually started it, so that's why.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
No,
probably
I do.
only one guy makes it. I'm thinking between Gargiulo and Forsyth. So
Yeah.
screw it. We'll just go with Forsyth because I haven't heard anything bad about him yet, unless you guys have. I haven't.
nope.
Okay. What about, any other thoughts, Kodiak, Jeremy, just on the offense, things that you would tweak? Mark Ryan saying, does Kroll make it or Caleb Lohner?
I don't think there's going to be that many. I think there's going to be 6 wide receivers probably, but I don't know. I wouldn't be. I mean, I don't know. I don't like doing 53s because it's like they know better who they can slip, who they really want, but they'll slip. Like I can slip this guy to the practice squad, and I can't do that. So it's just like I don't. It's so like convoluted where you're just like I know who they actually like, who looks good and who they actually like, but I don't know what they're gonna actually do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if Lohner didn't make this team, honestly. Like, would it be disappointing? Yes, but it would. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to sneak him through waivers, but I don't think they're going to be able to do that, so you never know. But Shop Hayden obviously loves this dude, so yeah, Kroll, get him as far away from this team as possible.
Yeah, he had a good day today, though.
Oh, yeah. Nice. That's one of, 12?
I know. That's how I feel about it. Now, on the defense, Mark, how are you feeling right now about the linebacker room? we've talked a lot about Alex Singleton not making it, and he's probably a stock down right now just because he's not practicing at all. He should be back this week with that thumb, but we'll have to see. But are you changing anything with how we laid it out last week? Maybe PJ Locke out of here.
I'm changing. I did put Singleton to make the team.
Yeah.
Instead of Karine Reed.
Okay, we'll add him back in.
And then obviously you guys, if you think something different, and then safeties, I don't have Locke and I put JL Skinner.
Okay.
And then this is kind of an interesting one because of Johnny Walker going on IR.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're gonna go into I don't think we're gonna go in with just 6 edges. I mean, maybe. I put Andrew Farmer.
Yes.
I got the guy Andrew Farmer making it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, Andrew
I think
Mason.
everything else I think is pretty much the same.
Okay. Well, we got to cut one dude. Make it to 53. What are we doing? Who are we cutting?
I had
don't
25 and
see
you think-
25.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that means we probably cut Forsyth or somebody like that. Or Palczewski or
Oh
Perk.
yeah, or Webb. It would be either one of those guys. I think it really might boil down between those two. Like if they feel like they can get Forsyth on practice squad, they will,
Yeah.
or vice versa.
Yeah, but for now, we'll just roll with 54. I mean, this looks amazing.
You would
We
put
can always cut
Sam,
for Boney.
you'd put Sam Franklin over Devin Key.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still traumatized from that Baltimore game.
Yeah.
I just think Sam Franklin he's such another special teams guy that they really liked.
Okay.
I don't know if he's a good safety. I feel like he could probably play it. That's a good point because they seem to really like Devin Key as well.
Yeah.
I guess he made a play today, but I don't like that guy either.
What's
Yeah.
interesting is the running backs. I said it before. I'm gonna say it again. I do think this is probably who makes it, but I definitely think they like Bidet better than they like Estimate or McLaughlin sometimes. I think they really, really like Bidet. So I think, but they can sneak him through. I think is what they think.
He's like the
So,
little Jordan Humphrey. I mean, little Jordan didn't make the team last year and end up playing a big role. So there'll be a couple of guys like that.
He's gonna be snuck through. He's gonna be elevated 3 times, and then he's gonna be put on the 53, and one of these guys is gonna drop down. That's literally
That's how it's probably gonna work.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to see the fullback. What's his name? I'm like blanking on his name.
Burton.
Burton. Yeah. I see no reason to have him. I think.
No, dude, we got Nate
Atkins
Atkins,
can-
man.
Yeah.
Nate Atkins. Well, shall we get into our next segment, or do you guys got any more thoughts on these hot takes on who's making the roster?
No, but another stock up real quick that it just reminded me of. Dondre Tillman is crushing as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Crushing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, stock down Mario Goodrich, man. I thought he was going to be the Pat Surtain of the UFL, right? That's what we were calling him, man. I had a whole video on that. This dude couldn't even make it a week through training camp. Come on.
I know. Poor guy.
I know.
Say,
Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was going to say the UFL. I mean, I feel like we were so like, oh, yeah, just keep getting UFL guys. And I think we should continue, but that was a little disappointing. It was a little early. I would have liked to see a little bit more from him.
Yeah, it'd be great to get UFL guys that are like borderline rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year type guys every year.
Yeah.
Let me
one other stock up that I'll have to say.
yeah?
We always do this with people who are already superstars, but I love the fact that Zach Allen got paid and then he went out and said, let me just go remind you guys why. And that's the way you love when certain guys get contracts. And even Sean said we owed it to the locker room to pay him, which means they would be upset if he doesn't get it. That tells you exactly how much they love this guy. And I had to go back and re-listen to that podcast he did with what's his name?
Chris Long.
Chris Long, dude.
Yeah.
That was such a good podcast where he's just breaking down everything. If anybody didn't miss that one, from a couple months ago, it just shows you who Zach Allen is and why he's the man. So I love the fact that he's not just oh, good, I got my money now. I can kind of like relax. No. I got my money, and I'll show you why. I love that.
Mm-hmm. I want to highlight this comment here from Big E Bronco saying, I got in a deep conversation with a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He was trying to say their defensive tackles are better than Zach Allen. I love that stat coming out there about, what was it, 40 plus quarterback hits in a season. The only interior guys to do it in kind of this era is Zach Allen and then Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Just insane.
Crazy.
Now, guys, I don't really remember how none of us were on YouTube really talking about this, but what do you guys think, man, when we initially passed on re-signing Draymond Jones for Zach Allen, man? I remember I just kind of thought it was, man, whatever, like it's not going to be much of a difference, but clearly there was a huge difference in making a decision on these guys, and I love to see it.
I felt good about it at the time just because he was coming from Arizona and we were getting Vance from Arizona, and I felt like Vance had inside knowledge. Anytime like we get get somebody and they're like, oh, I know about this guy ahead of time. Even when we drafted Pat Bryant, they had all this inside sources of like, oh, this guy knew, Jim Leonard knew him and all these other people. I always feel good about that. And if you are passing on a guy in-house for a guy that you kind of are hearing from your coaches coming in, that gave me good vibe. Like I felt like that was a great point. That was probably like, okay, they're doing that for a reason. Not that Draymond was bad, but Draymond, I just never like paying somebody who's not like consistently dominant. It's like I don't like paying for the flash guys that are like, oh yeah, he did make like 5 really good plays, but like he disappeared for a lot of it too. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And Zach Allen just never disappears.
Totally. And Hydra Ammo saying this to you, Biggie, saying Cam Hayward's damn near fossil. Your Pittsburgh fan friend is smoking. Absolutely, man.
He is a fossil. Let's go ahead and hit it.
Yeah, he is. I guess, does anybody got any thoughts before we get into like the amazing 49ers preseason game preview and predictions? Does anybody have some thoughts right now on contract extensions, Nick Bonito, JFM, anything like that? Anybody got something to say?
No,
you guys sounds got
like... Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Alex.
Okay. All right. You guys got to buckle up for this one because all offseason I've been saying that this guy needed to be the priority. But now I'm weighing towards like, I think we can make do with Adam. I've been saying that Nick Bonito should have been the contract priority. But as time goes on this summer, I'm just like, I'm like 50-50 right now on do we even need to? Like, listen, here's my rationale for it. First of all, our defensive scheme does not heavily rely on edge impact. Like, I know the way defense is played in the NFL, obviously edge is probably the second or third most important position in the sport for a reason. If you can disrupt the quarterback, you can do a lot of things right. But when I think about Nick Bonito, Sean Payton, he himself said, we want him playing a little bit less. And that's like the biggest thing for me. They only see him as a designated pass rusher. And the biggest thing for me is, all right, you got to go out there and prove it. If you can, not ghost this year against the Chargers, if you can not ghost this year when you play Orlando Brown, if you can actually rise to the challenge of playing against physical offensive linemen, then I will feel better about it. And I will be very happy to admit that I'm wrong. But right now, I'm just like, man, with all the investment we're putting into our defense, I'm just like, could Benito be better served as like a bait piece? Like, I'm not going to say bait piece for another team because he's still a really good player, but, we just have a really deep edge room, and we're going to draft a pass rusher every year. And, from what we know, these guys are showing out. Ellis had a good year last year. Tillman had a really good year last year. I expect Q Robinson to do really, really well in this preseason. So that's one of my thoughts. Like, I don't know. I'm just more erring on the side of like, do we need to pay Benito? I don't know. 50-50 right now, but yeah.
I feel like that's kind of a hot take, but guys in the chat, I want to know, are you siding with Kodiak? I got a little bit of a rebuttal, unless Jeremy, are you wanting to say something?
No, I was just going to say, like, it is an embarrassment of riches, but it's such an important position that let's say you do pass on him and he turns out to be a stud, and then you like, oh, but we had these guys, and then they don't end up, you are just going to be kicking yourself forever. It's a homegrown guy that's done it the right way. You drafted him, you developed him, and he literally like won us games last year on his performances. So like I hear what you're saying, and logically, and like the way you're spending, like you're like, look, I have all this certain amount of money to spend. This is, I don't know, this is not necessarily where it's needed the most. I get what you're saying, but it's risky business because it's such a valuable position. And what does it say to the team if you don't do it? And I just think, I mean, I liked the way he's going about it. Like, it just feels like I need another reason not to pay him. You know what I mean? Like, he's just doing everything you want him to do, and you're just going to not pay him just because you also drafted well behind him. Like, I don't know. That's not enough for me. Like, he deserves it. Now, if he's going to ask for the moon, okay, maybe that's a different conversation. But if it's a fair contract, which these other contracts have been, I'm okay with it. I think it should be done, probably. But he's going to wait till Micah Parsons gets paid, and that domino needs to drop before he's going to get paid. So he's not in any rush.
As long as he's not getting paid, I think TJ Watt money or, Micah Parsons money, I feel fine about it. I do think you bring up a great point, Kodiak, where it is kind of an embarrassment of riches, especially with the younger guys that we got in the room, or guys that are just as young as him. I think Dondre Tillman's about the same age. But my whole thing is I'm not saying you're doing this, Kodiak, but I think we have done this as a front office in the past, is we take our good players for granted and we end up pissing them off, or we tell them, you know what, you can go ahead and take a few $1 million more from the Houston Texans and we'll be just fine with our third string quarterback going into defending our title season. Now, not exactly the same situation, but why not have the best edge room in the whole NFL? Nick Bonito keeps that. And I think he's got one thing that none of these guys got. Maybe Q Robinson can be this as well. We'll have to see. But his first step, man, is elite. And man, nobody else has that. But I do think what you're saying about him going up against top end left tackles and having more success, you want to see that this year. And I'm wondering if it's getting to the point where with this Micah Parsons stuff, if you really won't see a deal done until maybe the middle of the season. We've seen George Payton do that before, I think, with Court. I can't remember when he signed Tim Patrick.
The same year, same offseason as Courtland, I think.
Yeah.
I think they signed them both. The initial extension. 2021?
Oh, yeah. I think he got hired, then like 2 weeks later signed both of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't in the season?
But one mid-season contract that I do remember that's pretty recent is Jonathan Cooper. Remember, it was right before the Baltimore game.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That was before. Yeah, I think you have to 110% sign Nick Bonito. I get all the reasons why maybe you don't, but makes way too much sense. He's the only guy that can do what he does in terms of the speed rusher. Sure, he has his flaws against the run game, but that's all game plan specific. But in the times where you need to just pin your ears back and get out to the quarterback, Nick Bonito's the guy. I mean, I think you get it done as soon as you can. Maybe he wants to wait for Micah. Maybe he's betting on himself. Maybe he doesn't. He's in no rush because he knows he can make a lot more money. But you don't pay him this year, it's going to be really hard. You probably have to franchise tag him, and it could get ugly because his price is going to go up a lot. Whereas I think if you sign him now, next year at this time, it's going to look like a bargain, like the PS2 deal. So I think we get it done. I think we will get it done before the season starts, or at least very early on.
Good.
And it's like, look at the quarterbacks we have to go up against every year in our division. You just need the pass rush. You can't just like get cheap on it. You just can't do it. Like when what's his name? We let him go to the Buccaneers after re-signed Vaughn.
Yeah,
Shaq Barrett, and then he's just tearing it up, and you're just like, oh man, how nice would he be? Like, Shane Ray, we all thought, we just drafted Shane Ray, so he's going to be amazing. And then that doesn't exactly pan out the same way you thought it was going to. And now Shaq Barrett's tearing it up for somebody else. So, man, like, fourth quarter, game on the line, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, those guys are like dropping back. You want Nick Bonito out there with that bend and that like elusiveness and that motor. You know what I mean? You can't get cheap at that position if you want to be, where we want to go. If we have Super Bowl aspirations, they have to be worried about game planning for a certain guy.
Yeah, no, these are all very valid rebuttals, and you know what? It'll be, once again, it's not our decision, it's up to the front office, but I'm just really curious to see what they have to say. And yeah, I hope Benito proves me wrong because, like I said, I'm not like super set either way on it. But like I said, early in the offseason, I was like, you got to get this done ASAP. Now I'm just like, man, we'll see. We'll just see.
Yeah. No, I get it because you hear so much from training camp, just like this dude's turned up, this dude turned it up. Oh my God, Q Robinson's like way better than we thought. Like all this, and you go, oh man, But I just don't take your eye off the ball. Like don't, Training camp is not. He proved it when he needed to prove it. To me, that tells you everything. And we got more sacks last year than the history of our franchise, and that's with Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware, whoever. Like, you can't just be like, well, he had a good year and have a good time.
He's gotten better every season.
Yeah.
Every year he's gotten better.
But keep standing on it, Kodiak. This will be fun to follow as we go throughout the season, man. But we got a little bit of time left. Are you guys cool to talk, 49ers? We got Niners gang in here. He's saying, is Greenlaw getting any reps with the Niners? He better not because he's already banged up. We should have a badass D this year. We absolutely should. But maybe we can go around the horn again, starting with Mark, man. What you thinking about this Niners game? Maybe what do you want to see? Do you got some predictions of maybe who's going to be that guy who balls out? And don't forget about Kodiak's big prediction about this preseason. Be sure to remind us when it's your turn, man.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that. I just want to see, what I'm really looking forward to, I guess, in this game particularly is like looking at the O-line depth, those guys that, trying to build out the rest of the roster. How do the second year guys look? That's going to be a big thing. Estime, how does Estime look? I don't even care to see the starters in RJ and JK much, to be honest. I don't really want them to get hurt. But, give me some Blake Watson, give me some Estime. Let me see, we know what Jaleel can do, so he can stay on the bench too. I want to see those guys compete. My big prediction, and I'll stand on this one, I think A.T. Perry goes for 8 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown.
Oh, please,
dude,
Jesus,
he does it
please.
Every preseason. He is literally the preseason king. First of all, he's broken a bunch of preseason records, which I don't know, we're having fun with it, but he has. And what's equivalent to less than 2 games of like a regular NFL game he done in his preseason career. He has like 20 catches for 200 and something yards and 3 touchdowns, I think, in the preseason. He is the preseason darling, man. He's going to go out there against some dude that's not going to make the San Francisco roster and smoke him. Absolutely smoke him. Guaranteed. Yes. And I'm excited to see Joaquin Davis, but a lot of the guys that like haven't heard a lot about, like to see Caleb. I'm really excited to see Caleb Lohner, man. This whole preseason. He's somebody I think needs to play a lot. And excited to see Caleb Lohner play. Curious to see if, San Fran will play their starters. They shouldn't. I don't know what they do in San Francisco, but everybody is always hurt all the time. Mm-hmm. They already lost like a running back, the backup running back for like a month. A defensive tackle's out for like a month. It's pretty insane. So they might not play a lot, but that's what I'm looking for. A.T. Perry's going to have a huge game. Trust me. Just watch. 5 catches for 80 yards in the fourth quarter only. It's gonna be funny.
Yeah. I mean, all right. So I want to remind everybody about my prediction for this preseason, and it is that it's piggybacking off the fact that our defense is deep and our offense is deep too. There are more than 53 NFL caliber players on our roster. Honestly, can't say that about the 49ers. So I predicted that the Broncos win every game this preseason by at least 20 or more, and I'm sticking to that. I think we are going to absolutely let our nuts hang on San Francisco. And there's just one thing I need to remind everybody. I'm going to tweet this out too, just so everybody can whatever. So 49ers beat reporters are the most irresponsible. They are the worst in the industry by a long shot. They told us 4 years ago that Elijah Mitchell was a potential cut candidate. He has 1,000 yards. They told us last year that Christian McCaffrey was fully healthy. Dude is inactive for week 1, misses 9 games. So just take anything they say with a grain of salt, okay? But I also want to mention a couple names. Debo Samuel, Jordan Mason, Javon Hargrave, Leonard Floyd, Talanoa Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, Aaron Banks, Tavarius Ward, Isaac Yadam, Elijah Mitchell, several others. Those are all the dudes the 49ers lost this past year, and their roster is no longer what it once was. So I'm looking forward to see our first team defense going up against like Purdy, CMC if he's healthy, Kittle, Ayuk, obviously. But I think Mac Jones, buddy, you ain't going to want to be able to, your nightmares are going to be filled with Q Robinson when it's time to go to bed on Saturday night. So I expect us to beat the shit out of the 49ers practice. But I'm really curious to see us in the joint practice, how our first teams looks against them. And I think we're going to absolutely destroy them. They got no O-line. Our pass rush is going to be too much for them.
Your boy Jordan James, though, you'll see him in action.
Oh, yeah.
I think David, I know you guys all liked him. I know David and Jeremy like
Jordan James is still in the NFL?
He got drafted this year from
Oh,
Oregon.
I thought we were talking about Jawan James. Sorry, yeah, Jordan James.
Yeah, Jordan James, the running back.
I'm a fan of Jordan James, man.
Yeah,
he'll be out there.
To me, I honestly don't care about the game. I honestly think the practices tell everything you need to know. And like, Sean said, "Oh, we're gonna play our players," and I think he just wants them to mentally
I think he will
be prepared, and he will play them a little bit. But like, we all know that the practice, especially day one, and then whoever. Usually, what happens is one team will dominate the other team day one, and then will the other team respond? And they usually do somewhat day two. Now, last year told us a lot. I don't remember what was it. What? I can't remember what team we were practicing against, but
Green Bay.
Green Bay. Okay, that's right. And we went out and everybody's like, holy crap, like the Broncos are just putting it on them, And that's when I started to be like, oh, shoot, we might be better than we think because, like, that's when everybody's going full blast. And as a player, you've been playing against the same guys, the same stuff, the same routes. This is when it really matters. It's more important than the game. So I'm so excited to hear what happens. I can't wait to see Bo Nix go against not Patrick Surtain and not go against Riley Moss and those guys. Like, I want him to go against other guys and see how we do, because if they go out and put it on for the 49ers, I'm going to be like, finally we can hear some, what we're all expecting to hear. Now, Niners gang, I have a question for you. Just curious, which of the two guys that the Broncos signed in the offseason were you more upset that you lost, Dre Greenlaw or Talanoa Hufanga? Because to me, Hufanga was the first priority, it felt like, and Greenlaw was the second. And I from a 49ers point of view, that interests me. But yeah, I can't wait to hear the practices. The game's going to be good, but the practice is going to tell you everything.
Well, he said we're signing guys off the couch just to practice against the Broncos, man. That's the one thing, man. Kyle Shanahan, he's got to get that conditioning going. But I wanted to highlight a few comments before I get my prediction in for the game, because it has something to do with it. But Black Phillip, the GOAT 9, said, love listening to you guys talk. I want to see our backups play. I want to see Stidham get experience. Bo should not play any preseason games. I don't think we'll see him play much meaningful time, hopefully, in preseason. But Andy was kind of, great minds think alike. I'm kind of along these lines. He's saying Caleb Warner will high point a TD pass from Sam Ehlinger, and we will celebrate. Here are my predictions. Caleb Warner, second half player. He's going to break out touchdown pass. Sam Ehlinger, he's like a preseason vet at this point. I think he's going to absolutely kill it. We've been getting great reviews from Sam Ehlinger and camp, which is awesome to see. But probably the thing that I'm looking forward to seeing the most, because I've written this man off all offseason, from February on, I was talking about cutting this man and saving like $3 million, right? So we could sign J.K. Dobbins. Well, we did it anyway. As of last week, I have now coined him Lil Toast. Damari Mathis, he's going to pick off Curtis Rourke or Mac Jones or whatever scrub they got in there in the second half. Damari Mathis says, I will not go quietly into the night, coming up with a pick in preseason week 1. That's my prediction.
I like that.
I like it too.
There is going to be that one player that like shines, and we play him a lot so that he shines to try to like get him on another roster, like we did with Albert Okwuegbunam. So yeah, Lil Toast. I like Lil Toast. He might do the whole like finger waggle thing down 50 points and get his ass out of the league, but we'll see. But
yeah.
It looks like they signed Eli Apple.
Dude.
Wow.
Lil Toast 2.0.
If
Lil
DeMar
Toast.
Mathis is Lil Toast, Eli Apple is Big Toast.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's the
Big
2.0.
Apple. That's hilarious.
Yeah, man. He needs to
man.
drop that album called Lil Toast, man. Man, I love it. Yeah, I guess Niner Game was saying he was pissed about Greenlaw, and
Yeah, Greenlaw was the
Yeah,
one. Yeah,
can
I
understand.
get it, man. He just sets the thing from a Broncos point of view of like once I heard Greenlaw speak and like just got his vibe, I'm like, that's the dude I want running out on the field to lead the team in the most important part of the game. As far as the tone, you just need that dude, whether it was Romanowski in the 90s, whether it was Aqib Talib, you just need that dude who like is going to fire up the D, but also like strike fear into the hearts of the offense that is opposing him. And that's Dre Greenlaw to me for our team.
Yeah. Yes. Now, Rocky Mountain Rain 5280 saying no Sherfield love.
Oh, you're late to the game.
I mean, I think we like Sherfield, man. He's a
Probably
good player.
because he used to play for the Niners. Is that why?
I thought he was a Viking. Oh, maybe.
But he was like he played for the Niners, Vikings, Bills, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
We talked about Sherfield. He's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Sherfield, but maybe as like a preseason, MVP. We got A.T. Perry for that.
I actually think Sherfield is gonna show some stuff like in the passing game. I think when we signed him, everybody was like, "Oh, he's a really good special teamer," kind of how Q Robinson was when we drafted him. Oh, his special team is great, but I think I've heard he's running some sick routes.
Dude, he's got receiving chops. Go watch his highlights against at Minnesota, man.
Yeah, exactly. So
Damn, we're his sixth team he's played for though.
Wow.
I did not know that.
So he's been around, yeah. I guess another prediction I have for this game is that Pat Bryant, I mean, if they're signing Eli Apple, like, listen, buddy, I feel like Pat Bryant is going to have those flashbacks to when he played against Rutgers last year, and he's just going to light it up. I'm thinking 12 for 100 and 2 touchdowns.
I like it.
Not sure.
You know, love me some Pat Bryant, man.
Yeah, but that's only after the first drive.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can have 2 touchdowns after the first drive, but yeah.
They'll find a way to make it work.
When was the last time, man, we felt like we had a better team than the 49ers? It feels strange going into this joint practice because last time, was it with Nate Hackett or was it with Vance Joseph where we just got absolutely dog walked by him in the training camp practices, the joint practices? Who was that? Who was coaching that team?
I think it was Vic.
No, it was wait, I forget. I know the last time we played them in the preseason was 2 years ago, and Trey Lance led that game-winning drive. But I don't remember when we joint practice against them.
Oh,
because I'm trying to think. 21 was against Minnesota. 22 was against Dallas. Last year was against Green Bay. 23 may have been against Arizona or San Francisco. I don't remember. Regardless,
I thought for some reason it was Vic because I was like,
I think it was the COVID year.
They had that whole thing about like he doesn't have music in training camp, and it's like. I remember them being like, the Broncos look like they have absolutely no energy whatsoever out there against them. I just remember being like, for God's sakes, Vic, give him some music, do something. Like, what are we doing out here?
Yeah. What a way to not get the juices flowing, man, by Vic. Way to go. Just not to get the best out of that group. Just not play music. Man, come on.
Yeah, spaghetti sauce only gets you so far, Vic.
I mean, dude, this man didn't even celebrate when he won a Super Bowl, so what do you expect?
Yeah, literally. All right, so it was 2019. I just looked this up. I remember this because the 49ers had just come off that year where they had the 2nd overall pick. Granted, we looked amazing against them in the preseason game, but then we had our 2019 year, and the 49ers went from 2nd overall to the Super Bowl.
Yes. And that's why I'm saying, like, it doesn't, the game, who cares? Like, honestly, it's all about that practice. That practice always tells the tape.
Yeah.
Although remember when we dominated the day against the Cowboys and we hung on to that for so long?
But
Like we won that one day and then yeah.
But then the Cowboys, it weren't nearly as good as people were expecting either.
I will say though, I think the Niners, man, I think they're gonna be a lot better than people think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I do, because I think they got a lot of like, they lost some really good players, but they got a lot of like the cancerous players out too for the most part.
Fat players.
You know, like they had a dude quit in the middle of the game last year.
Oh yeah,
That linebacker.
Wait,
what was his name?
Who quit in the middle of the?
He just walked off the field, and George Kittle, everyone was so pissed. He's a free agent linebacker still.
He used to play for Atlanta. I'm blanking on his name.
And he played for the Niners, for the Packers too.
Jihad Campbell? No. What?
No, he's still a free agent linebacker. I remember we brought it up on the show, and they were like, "What about this free agent linebacker?" And I was like, "Nah, people must have forgotten."
Devondre Campbell.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. So they had just a lot of like very dramatic, kind of cancerous type of players on that team. I felt like, so I think they're going to be a lot better than people think. And then Robert Saleh, man, that dude can coach the hell out of defense. So
yeah,
they'll figure it out. But
great coaches, and I get people like want to be like, you paid that much to Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy with the right coach, the right systems, good. I don't care what anybody says. Like, I would rather have him than a lot of people. You know, you can say what you want. There's guys that are highly touted year after year, and they just do not have it between the ears. And Brock Purdy does. So I think he'll be all right.
If you guys are okay transitioning to some overtime questions here, T Fish is getting us started really well, saying, outside of our guys, who in the league are you guys excited to see? For me, Efton Chisholm, Trey Henderson, Cam Scadaboo, Tez, and Mecca Ibuka. Maybe we can go around the horn. We'll start with Jeremy this time, work our way around. There's some other rookies on some other teams that you're excited to see.
Yeah, man, I've been so locked in on the Broncos and so focused on our own team. I kind of like forget all your favorites from the draft. But Tez is going to be interesting because I remember everybody talking about him being like, if for some reason he doesn't make the team, he's going to be, the Broncos are going to pick him. I like at this point, I don't know. I agreed with that at the time, but like our guys are looking so good this year that I just maybe not. Like if we can sign with the practice squad, maybe. But all those guys, I love Cam Scadaboo, Mekabuka, all those guys, Efton Chisholm. Yeah, those are all great. Man, that's a good question. Scadaboo is just interesting. I just want to see how he's going to translate. As soon as he went to the Giants, I was like lower on him just because it's like, oh, well, he went to the place where people go to die. But if, I just love the way that was the real question for me going into the draft of like, I want to see how this dude translates to the NFL because a lot of people are like low on him going to the NFL. So
yeah, Kodiak.
This one's, obviously one of my draft favorites who I wanted the Broncos to take at our pick was Derek Harmon. And like, I know that's not exciting because as fans, we like offense. We like our quarterbacks, we like our running backs, and we like our wide receivers. But I'm excited to see some of my favorites on the D-line. Really excited to see Abdul Carter, too, even though, he went to the Giants. And while they don't really have a good team, they're pretty solid at collecting talent. But they just feel like kind of the same spot that we were in 5-6 years ago. But one guy who I'm really, really excited to see, or one team, I guess I should say, I'm really excited to see how it shakes out. Man, the Browns quarterback situation, it's all over Twitter right now.
Do you see they signed Tyler Huntley?
Yeah. So it's Tyler Huntley, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and then your boy, Mr. Talks, Shadur Sanders. So Shadur. Yeah, like, I don't know. It's everywhere right now. Like the Saints, if the Browns were not having this quarterback competition, every eye would be on the Saints, but so we'll see what happens with Hainer, Rattler, and Shuck there. But man, I don't know. It's just the Browns. I don't know. What if they just roster like 12 quarterbacks and they just see what pans out?
Kurt Benkert, who I really like watching his stuff on YouTube, and I follow him on X. He they posted the thing about how Shador is like sitting out for like shoulder soreness, whatever. And he goes, "This is what happens before you get traded." And I was like, man, oh boy, this is going to be real interesting in Cleveland.
It's funny with the Shador hate. Like, nobody would be talking about the Cleveland Browns quarterback room if Shador wasn't even in there. He is by far and away, I will say this confidently, without even seeing him take a snap, he is significantly better than any quarterback in that room right now. I do not care what anybody says.
Thank you.
And it's not just because I like the Buffs. Shout out to David Talks Buffs, though, baby. Go check that channel out. But I will say, Shador Sanders is way better. Dylan Gabriel sucks. Joe Flacco's 90 years old. Kenny Pickett's hands are small. He's good in Madden, though. And I don't even know. Yeah, dude. Shador Sanders is better than all of them. And he's the only reason they're talking about him is because of him. But my guy, 11 a.m. Sunday, NFL Network. So you guys can all watch it if you have NFL Network. The Miami Dolphins versus the Chicago Bears. Kyle Monangai, baby. I cannot wait to be proven correctly. This dude is going to look like such a monster in preseason specifically, man. Y'all just watch. He's so fun. Love me some Kyle Monangai. I'm really excited to see Tyler Warren. I'm excited to see Colston Loveland. And, those are some of the two tight ends that I remember loving watching. Matthew Golden, Andy nailed it with that. I think Matthew Golden's going to be fun. There's a lot of really good rookies, man. It was a fun class last year. LaQuint Allen, too. I'd like to see what LaQuint can do. But, I like penciled in when the Bears were playing. I was actually mad I had to wait till Sunday because I'm excited to see my guy, man. I love Kyle Monangai, dude. I don't know why, too. Maybe it's because I like, you kind of fall in love with somebody during the draft process and you put all this videos out. You're like, he's got to keep rolling. So until he proves me wrong, Kyle Monangai will be a significant part of this Bears offense this year.
All right, I got a handful of guys I'm going to talk about that I'm very interested to see. First, we'll start out with the player I will be hate watching, and that is left tackle Josh Simmons for the Kansas City Chiefs. I've already seen highlights of him in training camp already getting cooked. You'll love to see it. I just hope to God the Kansas City Chiefs continue to draft bust offensive linemen. You might have drafted one of the best quarterbacks of a generation, but it's not worth a damn when you can't put guys in front of him to protect him. So gonna be hoping to watch Josh Simmons look like a dumpster fire in preseason. Now, the guys I'm going to be looking to play good, Travis Hunter, obviously on both sides of the ball. Rookie of the year, offense and defense. Make the bet if you haven't yet. That's not betting advice. I'm also really pumped to see another local guy from Colorado, Terrence Ferguson with the LA Rams. I think he could be their starting tight end. Tyler Higbee's kind of washed. They got that other guy, Colby Parkinson or whatever his name is. He sucks. Terrence Ferguson could start for him. Now, getting back to the 49ers, they drafted some of the defensive linemen that I really wanted in this year's draft. Alfred Collins. Andy's a big fan of Alfred Collins, as well as CJ West from Indiana. Those guys can play. They're going to be very, very good. I actually really love what the 49ers did with their draft, of course, including Jordan James. So that's going to be fun. But, yeah, outside of seeing Shador, absolutely crush it, hopefully this week for the Browns. For the Browns, man, that was the one franchise I didn't want him to go to. And he's there. Yeah, hate watching Josh Simmons. That's really what it's all about.
I got some hate watching, guys.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Two of my faves going into the draft, and then they go to the freaking Raiders. Ashton Genty and Jack Besh. Gosh dang it.
I know. That was
as soon as that happened, I'm like, you guys are dead to me. Like, I love you. How could you do this to me? And it's not that they did it, but yeah. Those were the brutal ones. I was just like, and Ferguson, like Andy was saying, it broke my heart as well. I was all on Terrence Ferguson's train, and I was like, come on, baby. This is meant to be. This is going to be perfect. And he ends up getting early second, and you're just like, yeah. But on the flip side, RJ Harvey, I'm so excited to watch him against some real defenses.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's
going to be great. And, yeah, I'm pumped to watch Crawshaw, man. I'll say that. first time I'm looking forward to punting in preseason in quite a while. So
This is gonna be the only time I feel like we're really gonna be mad 'cause you can't see the full trajectory of the punt. You know, they got to change that on live TV. Like, I want to see how high it goes. I want to see the spiral. You know, I want the full effect of the punt from Crawshaw.
yes.
Yeah.
I got to make sure my NFL Plus subscription is re-upped, so hopefully you can get the all 22 of it too, and just geek out over it.
Geek out on it.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I think that just about wraps it up. I mean, thank you guys so much. We had a lot of people here in the comments.
Yes, thank you,
This
guys.
was fantastic, seeing a lot of familiar faces. And guys, we're doing this every Monday night. Time might vary a little bit, so again, be sure to have that bell on for notification. Any last thoughts? Does anybody have any last thoughts? Some things they got to get out their chest before Sam Ellinger and our Denver Broncos go and obliterate the San Francisco 49ers.
Nah, man. I think for me, big thing. I'm excited to get the jersey schedule. I don't know. Does anybody have any information on when they're going to release that?
So I looked it up. I actually looked up when they did it last year, and it was August 6, 2024. So we hopefully could be coming out with that. But before the 2023 season began, it wasn't until like late August. So who knows?
So it was before the first preseason game. All right. Hopefully we'll get that. I'm excited to see some of the jersey combos. And I mean, y'all know me. I'll geek out over the jerseys, and I'll geek out over numbers as well, man. I just want to figure out what numbers these guys are going to be wearing for the regular season. So I just randomly had that off my chest, but otherwise, no, man, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I don't know if you guys have anything else.
Riley Moss is going to strap Brandon Ayuk.
He looks pretty.
Well, Brandon Ayuk game planned, but
True.
I just want that retro away jersey. Like, give me that white Orange Crush jersey. That's the one I'm excited for. Like, if they give me that, I'm gonna have to order another jersey. Like that just looks too good.
Yeah.
It does, man. It does. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Again, subscribe to all of our channels. We'll be posting Broncos content throughout the whole week, and then again, we'll be back with another Horsepower Hour, hopefully sponsored soon by Empower and Birds Bees. Have a wonderful evening. Go Broncos!
He's grabbed and he's going to be sacked.